you think human limits come from? Labels, other people,
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
yourself to teach it to yourself from other people when you're growing up. These limits, right?
yeah.
Do you think empires were built with education? Do you think that any structures that humans have ever done have been built with an education system? Now, I'm not saying that it's inherently wrong, and I'm not saying that it's inherently right. I'm saying that there's a fine line between the two. What about safety protocols?
Safety protocols were like,
We understand it. We got lots of safety protocols, safety this, safety that.
yeah, yeah.
Can't do it
Hmm.
because you're not qualified. You're not this. You're not that.
Yeah.
Where do you think these individuals learnt this from?
They had to be taught first by someone where they came,
Did
didn't
they?
they? But only when they went somewhere where it's required.
So you think that humans had to sit down somewhere and learn how to transform the lands into?
No.
You've got to understand this, right? This is a hard pill to swallow, but it's factual. Every single thing that you put value into is junk. Everything. Everything on this earth is junk. It's a waste product. It's the remnants of a star that no longer sustained its life. Everything, even the very fabric of what you are. You're intelligent junk, but you are junk nonetheless. Mixed together by forces that were here before your intelligence ever existed. And just let that settle for a bit. Something was here way before, teaching the stars how to form, guiding step by step. It's not evolution. You can label it with that if you want to, but it's just educational, that is. It just fits in a textbook somewhere. It's a label that's been applied to something. When you give meaning to junk, you fight over it. When we say rare, this is the way this world runs, is egos, big egos. And it's really strange when you look at it from afar that I have lots of gold. I have lots of diamond. I have big house. Yeah, you got junk. You've got remnants of what could not sustain life and it was scattered. Sure, it can go on to create life, but life's created from junk anyway. Other stars are created from junk. Different stars, different elements are created from this junk process. The fact is that if the universe was selfish, think about it, and it all held on to all of this junk, it wouldn't continue on. It's kind of a selfless act. We're taught to be selfish. We've been taught that. We're taught how to hoard the very precious little that we have. Fear mongering, if you don't pay this, we'll take your stuff.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's like the universe saying, if you don't do as you're told, we're going to take the stuff back.
Yeah.
We're going to send bailiffs, but these come in forms of meteorites, collapsing stars, planets colliding, cores erupting, planets shaking themselves apart, viruses. To say that life forms on the Earth, right? When we're calculating life, yes? We always assume, where did fire start? What, on your planet? Or is that a whole category of other life forms? So, someone was talking about 50,000 years. Love the scientist, love what he was coming out with. Hate it, the news, the way they're so factual about it. Where they're, if you listen to the scientist, commending the amount of brain power that's gone into that, it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. But the thing is, it's the media that put the factual statements on it, which ruin it. It really does. Which I guess the scientist knows that we've dug up. Right, this scientist's dream that come out with all of this stuff to look for life and how far back it's gone, he's been given a small area that he can dig in. 0.1% of the Earth. We know that we can only dig down about, 9 miles into the Earth, give or take. And then things start getting really strange. Yeah, if you label it, oh God, I can hear the devil and stuff, which you understand, yes. It's not, it's water dropping down canyons, and there are crevices and cracks and different things like that. When the water hits in, it creates steam. The steam builds up its pressure and it whistles through like giant organs that you have in churches, right? So you can label that however you want. Things start off as superstition before they become factual. But yeah, this particular scientist is limited. He's limited to what he can do. So his talent is definitely wasted, in my opinion, that he could excel a lot more if he had more ground to dig into and to discover. So you're talking about 0.1% and it goes back only 50,000 years, but most of it's been covered, most of it's been bulldozed. Then you got to find bones, then you got to find fire scar, then you got to find this, then you got to find that. Bones don't last forever, although we think they do, because we think about dinosaur bones. No, these break down. These break down. It takes longer, mind you, and then we've got the renewing of the crust. So that, scientists would probably say, so far, this is as old as we can think. We think for now. But the news takes it and it's certainty. And that's kind of a bit... You don't need to narrate that. The scientists will narrate it for you and give it to you in a more... Because that's the thing. If you're going to get into science, you've got to understand. Yeah, okay, this is so far. But you'd have to factor in more calculations into that. How much earth have you dug? How deep have you gone down? Yeah, now we're starting to go. You've just struck gold in this area. So it's small. It's little, but good. Good nonetheless. It's good nonetheless that you found that, and well done. That's really good. But the news kind of is very factual. You see, that's the thing about all of this shit show we put. We often think that you can't build an empire from a room. Talking on a YouTube platform. You can't build an empire like that. You can't build anything like this. Yeah, sure. You can't be a doctor unless you go to a doctor's surgery. You can't be a doctor unless you go to university. You can't be a mechanic unless you're in a garage. You see, we've come such a long way. Such a long way. Do you think a mechanic can be a mechanic in their own home?
Yeah.
Do you think a doctor could be a doctor in their own home?
Yeah.
There you have it. So we think that you can't be a politician unless you're in the Houses of Parliament. Do you see? And this is fundamentally this is control. This means then that you are not allowed to do it at home because you've got to be here. Jump through this hoop. Okay, now jump through this one. We can protect you here. Is it? Is it? And then we'll look at the carbon deficit. Which way would it be if we had doctors in these areas, or we had this here, or we had engineers? You know, it's like saying to Tesla that you can't do this without being there. And when we look at Einstein, where did most of his thought processes come from? Was it a patent office?
Yeah. Or he was at home or in
Or
patent
at
office.
home, or away from the rigmarole?
Yeah, he
Not
did.
in a university, and by all accounts, he didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was reciprocal. He didn't like it.
Yeah, and he traveled and he was not like sitting somewhere on his bottom and
Yes,
writing stuff.
Even still, he wasn't perfect, but he was good at what he did. Tesla, same. You know, would have got that from going to a university or anything. Hey, and I'm not saying that they're inherently bad, but I think you got to draw the line somewhere along the line as to why in this empire can you not build a company from your home. You have to ask people. No, you don't. Well, it's because we have to look out for safety. Ooh, we need to know if you've got vehicles coming and going to the house. What's the difference between me ordering from Tesco, Amazon,
Yeah.
Sainsbury's,
And
Regions?
yeah, exactly. And you don't know who will be coming in that van and what they have in that van when they are parking in front of your house.
Do these people pay road tax?
Yeah,
Yeah, so all
because
of
they
these
drive.
companies pay road tax. So
Yeah.
what the hell? So you're trying to say that you can't run a business from home because there might be things coming and going? You can't do this at home. You're not allowed to do that. Look at that control.
That is ridiculous.
You see, that's where we start to grind down society, and then That's just complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
And yet no one is removing that. No one prevents that. This is paid control. You're paying for control. So if you work, you're paying to be controlled. We might upset your neighbours. When has any company, the ones that those new houses that were built, when did they care about the stench coming out of the factories? Where was the council, the agreements, the mortgage company? Where were they then? So you can build a house around a factory, but you can't build a factory in your house because you might upset your neighbours. So since when did you care? Since when did you give a shit?
But it's not only about factory, is it? They ask about your business. So what if you are, for example, someone who just writes on paper as a for business like accountant?
Actually, when you go to start a business, it's got nothing to do with anyone. It's
Yeah.
called mind your business.
Yeah.
You know, these people like to have business secrets, and if I go exposing all of their secrets in their business or in the council that are orchestrating this through associations, and I go and expose their secrets and start digging into what they're actually doing, I can be in trouble for it. That's interesting. But yet when you want to start a business, they want to know the ins and outs of everything, when really, legally and ethically, it's nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And then they might say that it's because you haven't got any education for it. Or, you know, you're not allowed to do this in your own home. You can't touch this. You can't touch that. And then what are we going to have soon? You can't touch your own electrical appliances inside your house. You can't play around with nothing. Why? Because they like to keep the furniture exactly the same. So it forces you, indirectly, that you have to go and pay money that you don't have into a system to teach you what's safe. No amount of safety protocol is going to stop. Because the problem is, there's so much unknown. That if you're going to be playing around with something, there's going to be unknown. That's ridiculous. That's like saying that if you want to build rockets, you need to go and get some safety. Even with all of that safety, things go wrong.
Yeah.
And then what about cars? How many accidents?
Yeah.
People have been taught safety, haven't they?
Yeah.
Hazard and perception.
Yeah. And you don't have to cause it. You are just happening to be parking somewhere or standing near the road and car will crash into you.
You know, you've got the same ones banging on about safety, yet built roads that are side by side. One can fly this way at 60 and one can go that side at 60. That's 140 mile an hour crash if they hit.
Yeah.
Then we're going to plonk paths right beside it for people to walk. We're going to give no paths at all on a 60 mile an hour road. These are the people that orchestrate safety. It's ridiculous. And clearly, they don't know the first thing about safety. And if this, with the windows, you know, we got the vents sucking in damp air, if that comes from health and safety, which is one of the highest offices you can get, called a council, then it don't work.
I wonder where they took it. It's probably designed from some warm countries where there's no drought.
Yeah, there's no rainwater yet.
Yeah.
And then it sucks it all in, it blows it into the cavity, and then you wonder why it's getting damp, mouldy. And there again, have we seen a rise in mould since they started making these plastic windows?
Yeah, I think so, because it's always like notice for tenants that if there is a mold, it's probably their mistake and not the landlord.
And then it starts sucking in. When wouldn't it be ideal to section off these areas and have it connected to a dehumidifier that circulates the air in between the houses, that stays in a draft? Another thing that they told me, which somebody else, a surveyor, told me, which I found absolutely bizarre, that there's science behind having a cold loft. It allows more heat in the house. Okay, well, I got two things for you that if you don't think critically, I'm going to call that as bullshit. What surrounds your fucking house outside? Cold air. What surrounds space?
So,
Not cold air, but
so if you had insulated
that's why the planet's cooking, you see,
loft
because it's cold in space.
and uninsulated walls, it's completely pointless.
Do you get what I mean? And
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
health and safety.
yeah.
This is some individual that's.
No, those people do not think when they are saying
But
that.
you see, they're never going to change it because they're stuck in that belief system. They've
Yeah, there
created a
is.
belief
Yeah,
system.
there is belief system for many things like that.
Can a king run a country from a palace? Which we would have to say his house. Or her house.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that's what they do, isn't it?
Isn't it? So the only place in the world where you can actually run something that's believable. So kings are in palaces. Governments are in houses of parliament. Which then teaches you, without even saying it, that there's a place. There's a position, there's a place. You here, we there.
But from what I recall, the members of parliament, as you call them here, those who are, they are supposed to be in the areas they have in a sort of care, I don't know how you use, in their constituency for their local people to listen to them and then to discuss it in parliament. So they cannot be, shouldn't be always sitting somewhere in an office or in a big hall in some parliament here or somewhere else.
There's no point in parliament. What are we doing there? Just arguing back and forth? That's called real business, is arguing?
And in some parliaments, they even punch each other.
Right, yeah, I heard about all of this, right, but to argue about it. Me and my sister, I got a twin, yeah, and the younger brothers are twins as well, right? If you think that we're going to sit there arguing day in, day out, or debating, as it was rightly known, about things, you don't get anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the wrong approach to come from. You don't sort things out this way. Trust me, we know arguing.
But that's what they show to people, isn't it? When you have some like TV in some parliaments, not just here, but different countries as well. That's what they show to people, that they are sitting there and they are discussing some whatever they put in, some bill or whatever, and these say yes and these say no and blah blah and blah blah and blah blah. Instead of like thinking, okay, let's think about how we can agree on it. They just say, no, we don't like it, we don't like it, blah, blah. That's what they do.
It's a very interesting thing, to be honest, all of this sort of red tape is what it is. So you have to go and ask the council if you can build something. And we know, watching this unfold in different nations already as we speak about this, that there's corruption in this process. That certain people are got a guaranteed yes, and other people have always got a no. And yet it never favors in the community. Never.
And takes years in some countries to get, because you need this permission, then you need that permission. Then if you are building, oh my God, you need this, this and this permission, because if you have a house, you need this, there, that there, whatever else there, something else there. And each takes forever and costs forever money as well.
You see, I think the one thing that heats up really well, and I find it quite an amazing process, is what exaggerates damp. Do you know what it is? Is outside air that's already damp, and then you breathe it in, it rushes around your body, and then you breathe it out. That will trigger damp quicker to release the moisture from the molecules, could it be?
Yeah.
That's the quickest way to do it. So if you're sucking in damp air and you're breathing, you're going to release even faster. That's very interesting. So we notice the way that it's growing inside houses. And again, this comes from education. This is just watching the whole thing. Now, whether I say that's inherently wrong or right, it's neither. You see, whether it's light, whether it's dark, it's a tool. These are tools that, if used correctly, have the most amount of impact or power. Power is not about being one-sided and two in, two out. You can be into an education system, but you've also got to step back sometimes and scrutinize the process. If I'm all for it, that's all for the light, right? But somewhere along the line, if I step back and I start hitting at it, as what would be a sign of darkness, right? So if someone is fixed on their post, right? If someone is fixed in a college, this will be hitting a belief system. That's what I'm going at. It's a belief system because they've fully bought into the belief, the knowledge that that is the be-all and end-all of everything and will never question it. And when you've got people that stand back, which I think is healthy to do so, and then you've got to jab it. Not the people, but the system, the structure. Is this helping? If it's not, what's the point? Is it helping? Well, it did in a certain time. Okay, maybe we could look at it like this. Then you have to update it. Again, but you've got to continuously update it. And then logically, are there enough jobs to do this? And again, if we were to remove the colleges, it would seem like a big thing, right? Everyone would be like, oh my God, what are you doing? If you put it into the DWP, it becomes a little bit different. If there is a job open up, you move someone into the work learning process, which we don't need all of that fucking bureaucracy attached to it. They get graded on the outcome, and it's a bit more of better training. Much more better training. It's got to be faster, it's got to be quicker, and it's got to have a means to an end. So someone is looking for a particular type of person to work in a company. Okay, there are 5 positions just opened up. Therefore, there are now 5 educational channels have just opened to train 5 people to go into that. Whilst working with these people, from the learning all the way into the company, I think it's going to be far more beneficial. Because why? You can tailor it. Ain't no good learning how to manage certain products over here like this, in this way, to go and work in a company over there. I'm just not a great believer in thinking that you can go and learn a managerial role in a college somewhere or a university and be able to be a jack of all trades. I think it's, you get the baseline.
Yeah.
But there again, how many of those courses open up realistically to how many positions are there actually? And then whether you're going to get those. I don't want you to be surrounded in debt, because that's going to create depression later on, and that's not good enough. I don't think that's very good. And to be working in the company and get hands-on experience as well as learning this, and each one can switch 5 positions, like I say. You can alternate in that until you find it. And then you can say, you know what, this ain't for me. It's not what I thought it was going to be. That's okay. Here you are, we can find you something else over here that's a bit more tailored until you can find something that fits for somebody. And the ones that like it and want that, well, then they begin to get trained, don't they? They're trained as they go. They learn as they go. They get hands-on experience. You know, I think hands-on experience is often lost in all this noise.
Yeah, it is.
You must remember when you was in school, the hands-on shit was fun. The academic side of it, right, which I think is wrong. There's not a way to do it. Hunter-gatherers weren't like fucking drawing shit.
No.
I'm going to go over there and build that from that tree now. No, they just went ahead and had a go with it. They got the hands on. You don't study it, you learn it. You learn it by hands on, because that's what's inherently in humans, isn't it? It's this learning. I just feel that we got a lot of debt accumulating from this. We have to give out a lot of loans. Could these loans be buggered off? Is it really a job? Is it really where it's at? Because for me personally, I don't think it is. I think it's part and parcel.
But think about it. Those young people now go to university to learn something. And then they try and maybe do not get that job for years and years. And then they go and get it, but everything has changed in the meantime as well. Even for that university.
80% hands-on, 20% the academic side of it. So then you can take what you have experienced, understand what you are learning, and loop them together to create the knot. I think that's very beneficial. What about space? Are we going to learn about space by fucking sitting here?
And writing?
Did America learn by fucking writing it to get to the moon? Or Russia? No, I don't think so. I think it took a lot of attempts.
Yeah.
And the attempts to go, and it failed. But they learned something from the failure. All right, so if we try it like this, and it just takes that one breakthrough. Yes, then you can backwardly learn that, but why would you need to learn it if you could just install it into a system that understands it? That can do the learning. You only need to learn it once. It's like riding a bike, right? Hands on, though. I just find it fascinating. This is a very fascinating process. And then Einstein. Who was teaching Einstein how to know all of that? A university? No. And what he created goes into a university. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
But the university didn't teach Einstein. There's no way it was at a university or anything else like that, or a program. No. Him and his mind. Him and his guiding light. Back and forth, the volleyball. Tesla, back and forth once again. What are we missing out on nowadays? These massive breakthroughs everywhere. We overcomplicate everything, make it look so bloody difficult, and really it isn't.
We make the world a hard place to live in because there are so many rules and regulations and stuff that doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, and then the rules, regulations, which are nothing more than prisons.
Yeah.
Mental prisons.
Yeah, you want to do something simple and you have to apply here, you have to do that, then you have to pay a regularly fee over there or do something over.
So overcomplicated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stressful.
You know, this is a very true saying. I know people that can't read and write, add up or do anything. Give them a car and they know their way around an engine. They understand the electronics on it as well, but they've never taken an electrical degree. But they understand it. Why? Our grandparents were leaving with barely an education.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that literally started to lift an empire. Can you believe that? Hunter-gatherers didn't know how to read and write. They didn't even know how to speak each other's languages, and look what they managed to create. If we factor in slavery as well, people barely speak a language, barely had an education, but look at what they were able to achieve.
Yeah.
Whereas one side we have a lot of education. Yeah, on certain things I understand it, right? I do. I get it. I understand it. But, you know, doctors and different things like that. Gee me. Where did it come from before universities existed? Colleges, education. I feel like it's such a burden for people, to be honest. And I don't know, maybe it's just my way of seeing it, but, you know, when you go towards space, right? Do you really think there's going to be education lessons, or people are going to grab some junk in their little modules and start playing around with the junk? The difference is there's going to be technology, right? So you'd have a computer system or a database. So you have a great big database. But once you figured out how to do something with your trial and error, what happens if you teach people how to do a step-by-step diagram? Pictures are the oldest language in your understanding, yes? You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
People used to explain using body language and different stuff like that. That's why it's so interesting. So if you were to draw a load of pictures step by step, miss out a load of words, of a diagram of X, Y, and Z, and then you've got the finished product. So from the resources that you need, how to bring these resources together, anything else that you may need, and then you've got the finished outcome, which looks like an F. Then you upload this to a database that other people can access that database and then create their own version. And if they add a slight twist to it, so they've got the formula, what they need to gather resources and different things, how to bring these together, onto the next one, onto the next one. Rather than reaching the finished product here, they reach it here with a new twist and then add this to the database. Each time someone does a process where they're allowed to do it, they're going to add more to it. It's like stars. After all, you're not inherently different from stars. This is a natural process, right?
Yeah.
Stars do better each time, yes?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, they weren't reaching iron, I can assure you on that. They were very awkwardly, haphazardly, just bringing what they could together. and making do with what they could. And it seemed like a very low existence for them, not very long at all, and then pop. And then with this new building blocks that came out, so let's say if they made it to carbon, and then on the next one they made it to oxygen, and then on the next one, and so on and so on and so on until they reached iron. Iron is where we perceive it now, right? So if we understand the periodic table, hydrogen to helium in the beginning, yes?
Yeah.
What if they only reach that stage, then pop? So the first stars would only make it to here. So if I ask those first stars, well, what's the universe all about? It will go, yo, God. Yeah, I'm listening. Come on. Collective. Yeah, okay, we're listening. Well, what was the universe all about? Did you ever see any dark holes anywhere? No, we didn't see any of those. Oh, okay then. What were the elements? Well, I took this stuff called hydrogen. I made helium. What else happened? That was it. Did you see any of these things orbiting you? No? Okay, so there's no planets and no black holes. And then the next stars come along. They do a little bit better. But they've just added another ingredient to the process. I asked these stars what they saw. Any blobs around you? No. Any of these little planets around you? No, but just stranger dust around. It was a different ingredient, a different mix. And then you keep going. And you keep going until you reach a format of now. And then I ask them. I separate them all. And you've got the ones in the beginning, ones halfway through, let's say, and the ones that are now. And I ask them. I ask the stars of now that begin to pop in a few hundred years. And I ask them, stars, what was the universe about? Well, we saw these swirly things. Yeah, they're called galaxies. Good. There was these gravitational influences in it. Oh, okay. We also saw these life forms. That's interesting. Anything else? Yeah, there was loads of these other points of light around us, and there were these things orbiting us. Okay, they're planets. The other ones you see are versions of you. Now, they're starting to tell you of these things that start to exist. But yet, if I put these stars in a room with these stars and these stars, is there a chance that they would argue with each other? They spend all that time arguing, yes?
Yeah, no.
And without a guiding light, they will argue the toss with each other that each one is right, yes? Because their perception, when they came into it and started looking, is any of them lying? Is any of them wrong? No, they're correct. All of them are correct, yes?
Yeah.
So this one's telling the truth here, this one's telling the truth, and this one's telling the truth. So they're all telling the truth.
Yeah.
But the wise ones would come together. Now, is any one of these better than the other?
No.
Why?
Why should it? What would make it better than the others?
Okay, is each one relevant?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's continuum, isn't it?
So if it weren't for these ones, these ones,
Yeah.
and then allow these ones to exist. So, can I ask another question? Would these ones exist if these ones didn't? So their life has supported this one to live at a different ratio, yes?
Yeah.
And these ones living have supported these ones.
Yeah.
Do you understand how life supports life?
Yeah.
Did you know the same is true for life forms as you?
Yeah.
Animals and different things like that. So you start off primitive, more primitive. And when people talk about primitive life, man, that's because your awareness came into it at this moment. Yes?
Yeah.
And you have no idea what's gone into building those building blocks, right? Here you are, I'll give you an example. These waste products, these ones chucking out what they didn't need and not accumulating and not being so selfish to take it all, even though they could gobble it all up, but they don't. Almost like they know something, that they're giving it for a reason, leaving this around. They could create more stars from that and they could get a lot bigger, but they seem to not do that. Like I said, there was this guide that guided them before even life forms existed. Yeah, someone's guiding them. Do you notice how the future can teach the past? Do you understand that? That the
Yeah.
Past can teach the future,
Yeah.
but the future is teaching the past.
Yeah.
Whether you go forwards in evolution or backwards in evolution,
Yeah.
it's which way's forwards? Wherever you perceive it. So if you perceive it now going this direction, you're going to accept and say that that's gospel. What happens if it goes in reverse?
Then it goes in reverse.
So is it in reverse if you saw it that way? If you were born into it that way?
No.
You would just accept it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But both sides would argue with each other. Somewhere along the line, you need something in the middle, a medium. Not a medium that reads futures and different things like that, although very similar, but not quite. You need a medium to help both sides understand, a teaching, yes, as well as a guiding.
Yeah.
So life forms, these that rose up, do you know how primitive life even came to exist? No? It came from these.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have primitive life in this biome if these stars didn't do what they did. Which, by all accounts, they seem like they had a small existence, yes?
Yeah.
But if I asked this one to compare how long it lived for, it wouldn't be able to tell you. It'd feel, if you could switch them, that it would have been the same amount of time as these stars as what these stars would have been. Isn't that weird? So if in another way, if I took a bacteria and I took a human and I could get them both to talk in a biome, I'm going to get onto some more stuff in a bit, and I lifted them both up. I can explain your time. They'll say that it went on forever, but it was over and done with in a brief amount of time. Isn't that hypocritical?
Is it?
Isn't it? It seemed to take forever, but it happened very quickly.
Observation later on that it happened very quickly, maybe.
You see, that's the thing. Where do you put your awareness? See, that awareness right now, how do you feel it right now? Every day seems slow, but over a look-back period, it's quick. Think about it.
Yeah.
When you were going through school, it felt like fucking forever, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was gruelingly, how long do I have to be in this prison for? Well, it was for me. That's how I looked at school. It was like a prison, right?
Yeah.
It literally drove me nearly insane. Literally. Nearly did. Well, I tell you that. Toxic as fuck. Anyway, mine was a little bit different, but still, shades of grey, whatever. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Yeah. Oh, I can't please them all. But anyway, so did it feel like forever? Going through that day by day.
Yeah. It was
dragging
like,
and dragging and dragging and dragging until you reached your illusion of freedom. The real world. What a letdown.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah.
Looking
That
forward to
disappointment, right?
weekend, looking forward to
to
holiday, to this, to that. Yeah.
Some of your weekends went really fast, appeared to, and some of them went really slow. But even still, the whole collective of school from point A to point B seems to take forever. Look back now. How long was it? Even when you look back when you left school, it was like, damn, did that seem so long? But shit me, did that happen so fast?
Yeah.
Hypocrite. We're all hypocrites. Well, if you become aware, you're a hypocrite. So that's life expectancy. That's your... The snail, this, that, and the other. What about if I asked your organs how long it took? They'll tell you a world of darkness. Neither organ favours the other. You can say clocks, clock mechanisms. One way to look at it, yeah. But what about the atoms inside your body that make up you? All of those that clung together, all work in unity to allow you to exist. None of them fighting each other. None of them think that they're better than the rest. None of the organs think that they're better than any other organ. The brain doesn't envy the heart doesn't envy the brain. All of it just does and comes together and operates and functions without ever needing thank you. Well, you take it all for granted, don't you? Go running somewhere, do you? Take it for all for granted, yes?
Yeah.
All in synchronicity, in unity. Not loyalty, but unity. The true meaning of the word unity. I mean, it's even in your structure. But you swear to God that you're not like that. Anyway, so life forms, right? These primitive life forms, man, their journey is something. These boxes are interesting because they should really be done like this. There we are. Each one.
Mm-hmm.
So life supports life in death, yes?
Yeah.
It's recycled.
Mm-hmm.
Because this universe is recycling. You are junk, all this junk that you hold on to. So, if this one didn't leave junk for these ones to create from, and these ones didn't leave junk for these ones to create from, well, you wouldn't have life.
Yeah.
You need to be guided from it. And then this primitive life depended on this point here,
Mm-hmm.
to this point here, to this point here. And even if it did form up on another planet somewhere, it may not have got going, would never have come to life as you see it now on the planet. This one would never reach that. But even if this was to be blown in multiple directions and land on the Earth or another planet,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about that time. What information is it getting in the times that favor it? Each time it's growing, it's gaining more and more information. Then if it comes with another one, and this then gets on to the next chapter of this, you know there's multiple ways to make life, don't you? There's what we would call the natural version, which I like to call the guided version, yes?
Yeah.
You're guided by a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you spend 90% of your time denying of its existence does not mean that it can't see you. It's not interacting with you. It's still not guiding you, even if you say pig ignorant from it. And you block it out, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And live your life.
Yeah.
And you label it something else.
Mm-hmm.
It still sees you. It's still aware of you just because you're not aware of it. It's like you operating around believing that you don't have a body and you're just a set of eyes that are floating around. You ever feel like that sometimes? You're not a body, you're more. If you are not aware of your soul, it doesn't mean that your soul is not aware of your body. Your body is junk. At the end of the day, your body is not needed. The eternal essence that makes you, that's the real keeper. That's something that is to be cherished. Not the body. The body's going to break down. It's going to... The body is a tool. Light and darkness is a tool. The universe is a tool. The planet is a tool. Your star is a tool. All of this junk is just nothing more than a collection of tools. And how do you operate? We're using these tools to influence those tools, to grab these tools. XYZ, it's just a tool. At the end of the day, if it all blows up tomorrow, it really doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with these tools, do you ever think that life forms that experience more, that are watching, come down into your vessels and try and push the envelope of what your tools are capable of doing? At the end of the day, it's just a tool, yes?
Yeah.
So these tools are being tested. What are their limits? Yeah, that's the thing. Are you ever trying to find your limits? Is anyone ever trying to find their limits? Well, I ran further. That's a good limit, but it's not really a limit. Things can run, things can jog, things can bodybuild, things can tone it up. Yeah, it's wonderful. That's good. I like to see that. A tool, yeah, that's a good tool. Now, what's it capable of? Well, it's good at walking around other people thinking that I'm bigger than you. Get out of my fucking way. I've got a bigger car than you. You move over. Yours is shitter. Good tool. Shit way to use it, but good fucking tool. It's wonderful, yes? Wonderful, wonderful. Terrible. And these tools are being used, tested, trained, enhanced, modified, mixed. Humans can do the same thing that the universe is doing, and they want to be the ones that guide. But that's like the blind guiding the blind. Although I shouldn't really say that because it's a little bit phobic-y there, but for the principle of demonstrating that there's a blind horse leading a blind horse, he'll be pretty good at it. Anyway, yeah, that's a tool. So life forms, yes?
Yeah.
You got life forms here on Earth. You got life forms here on another star system that's further away. You don't know about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them leave the planet,
Yeah.
and they're gonna meet up. Now, what say if their humanoid is similar to your humanoid? Their discovery has gone one way, your discovery has gone another way.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps they've made computers that you've never thought of, and you've made computers that they haven't thought of, but combine these things. Much like the universe combining different elements in order to create different stars and see how long they can last and push the envelope each time. Stars standardized will reach a certain point before the universal cycle restarts.
Yeah.
And off we go again. This is phase one.
Yeah.
You're in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these life forms come together, yes?
Yeah.
Now, what happens if they cross their species? Let's say they cross their species, yeah?
Yeah.
And make a new version of humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
With its identifying, I'm going to give it legs and shit, it doesn't really matter. Might not look like a human anyway. They come together.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, this new information here, and this new information here, and here, would never have been found. If your star is said to end in 50,000 years from now, let's say it ends in 100 years.
Yeah.
And you die with the star, you're projected to die in 100 years. All of you, your life forms become extinct. Nothing's wasted, but your building blocks that made you up are temporarily paused. Lots of it survives, and it doesn't need a lot of life forms, to be honest, to be in this way. The matter that makes you up is then spat out.
Mm-hmm.
To say that you die as life forms, yes, as you understand yourselves, as birds understand them, as all the life on the planet, from the small to the big,
Mm-hmm.
is then dead.
Yeah.
It's not true. The same way stars, you could look at stars and think, it's all dead star. It's hard for you to perceive it because your understanding of death is bones, matter, and that's about it, right? You leave the bones, we all look for the bones, we need the bones, we're going to need to be able to rebuild a human from bones and need to find the DNA and all of this shit. Well, you only need a small piece, you can grow it. Well, the universe does the exact same thing that you are doing. You're being taught. How? Because you see it. What's the point in giving you eyes, giving you a mind, giving you a brain, giving you the capability to think? Who taught you how to see, think, and explore that? Evolution, yes. But what is evolution? Evolution is just some fairy tale label that you give yourselves because you can't be asked to explore it further. That's the difference. There is a big difference between that, right? So you give it a comfortable label, slap a label on it, and no one explores any further. Well, you know the truth. There is more. It's like saying that these stars are not going to create these ones. Different elements. What you teach a star, what it collects, it understands how to get past that chapter because it's now got more time to sit on those elements and figure out what else it's taken in. All of that matter in that nebula, it's not just fucking hydrogen. At the right time when a star is forming and another one pops, you don't think that has ever happened in the universe, ever at all. That as a star is forming and bringing in all of this stuff and it's going whirlpool, and a star bursts in the proximity of it and starts spitting in a load of... It's slow because it has to be, and it's rare because it's programmed to be, not computer simulated, although whatever makes you fit your narrative or whatever it is. Yeah. Computer is your version of it. It's not exactly real. If you think about it in that way, then you can say that this ain't real. Well, I suppose it depends. The star pops in its proximity. Do you not think that evolves stars, although very slowly?
Yeah.
And it gives it ingredients that it might not have been able to make. So if it takes in some chunks of iron, it learns.
Yeah.
It's got enough time to start the process because it's young, and it understands this ingredient. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and then it starts to do something in it, which then begins to make the star composition change just slightly. You know, you might start to say that these stars are a little bit polluted. Yes, they get other ingredients into them.
Yeah.
It's no longer a pure star on pure hydrogen anymore. It's now mixing other bits into it. So the stars are going to reach a point A to point B, right? So A is here, the beginning, and B is here. And then it's going to recycle again, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And run through the process again and again and again. No matter how many times you do this,
Yeah.
it's only ever going to give you a format or an outcome of stars that reach the point B, yes?
Yeah.
So loads and loads of stars start appearing, and then stars start spitting out more matter becomes dense, denser objects create black holes. Black holes are the reverse of a star. Stars fuse things together, black holes defuse things. So stars will take all of this matter and try and squash it all together and create denser and denser objects. Then it explodes. In the beginning, there aren't black holes because there isn't enough dense objects to create the black holes. The black holes then get created because there's more denser stuff because of what the stars have turned the gases into. The black hole begins to suck all of this up. Stars will die on their own, whereas black holes will not die on their own. Yes, there are a few that will die on their own, don't get me wrong, along the way. But by and large, black holes will come together. They're cannibalistic. Stars are less likely to be cannibalistic, but it doesn't mean that stars have never collided with each other and caused a colossal star. That has happened. Yes, I'm sure there's a few of those, and let's not get too hung up on that. Anyway, so then the black holes begin to outnumber the stars because there's more denser objects. Once they get started, they get going, they begin to merge to each other. Gravity of the black hole seems to suck up even this dark matter that you can't see, dark energy, call it whatever you want. Is like an invisible force that sucks these two together, which then makes galaxies merge with one another.
Mm-hmm.
The black holes need to come together to share the information that they've collected. So the most denser objects that it has, it takes it a lot longer if you throw in the most densest object in the universe. So whatever naturally has formed up, if there's iron being the strongest thing, it will take the iron, and depending on how long it's had the iron for, whether it's a small black hole that sits in a galaxy and it merges with another one and becomes bigger, it's just shared the information of what came from over here to what's come from over here. The elements over here are far different to the elements that you've got here. You'll find this out, but it's that much more easier if you think about it now and have the information. Well, yeah, how about it? The elements are different from two different areas, hence why they all come together. As this starts to come together and all the black holes, galaxies at the center pull all of this shit together, you're left with a final galaxy type. It then begins to eat the stars. You don't see this very often because it happens very rarely, but it's fast in universal understanding, but compared to a human, it's slower. Compared to something that is even more smaller, even more insignificant, they barely even register this happening. How many bacteria and how long would you need a piece of bacteria to stay alive for in order for it to see one star system collapse and die? How long would a human need to last for? 80 years is not enough. 100 years is not enough. 500 years might not be enough. 5,000 years might not be enough. Do you get what I mean? So forth and so forth. Even if you lived 5,000 years, it would still never be long enough. It'd still have the same imprint in the mind. The mind doesn't understand the time very well. It does and it doesn't. Shades of grey. Feels like a long time whilst you're going through it, and then when you reach the end, shit me, that just wasn't long enough. No matter who, where, what, and anything else. When this all comes together, what the black holes have done is shared the information. While I found iron over here, I found something that was more powerful than iron over in this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. But what's more, I know how to diffuse it all. You got one supermassive motherfucker of a black hole left, and boom! This creates an explosion, an instability that then pops out the gas once again, and guess what? The process starts again. The process then runs on again and again and again, over and over and over, until the universe decides that that's enough. Now, the life forms and the journey starts off again. So you'll understand that each time it will reach a certain density and it will never go beyond it, naturally. Naturally, you'll never go beyond it. Now, the question is, what happens if we make life forms? Okay, we'll understand that. Okay. Now, another question is, in this cycling and overcycling, what happens if we teach life forms how to outrun this? Is there a possibility that you can get inside that last black hole, sit within it, and come out the other end? At the beginning of the cycle. Not the beginning of anything, but just the beginning of a cycle. if you are there with elements that are more advanced than the beginning of the universe,
Yeah.
you can be taught how to become a god,
Mm-hmm.
a universe, memory being. We'll get on to eternal life in a bit. I'm debating it. Obviously, we'll see. Now, if you were there, even if you were still evolving, breeding, and this would be the way that you continue, and you've evolved quite a bit since then, and you're there with elements, could you put these into a star and make the first stars reach density level
Mm-hmm.
at this point here? Naturally, the universe would never do this because the remnants would always be worked out by the black hole, crush it down, convert it.
Mm.
But what happens if you put something in that's 5 times as dense as what the black hole does, and it only learns this information when you go in at the last minute? You would know that it would take X amount of years for it to start removing this and trying to reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
Pull it apart, separate it, and convert it back into a gassy format from a dense format. It wouldn't have enough time to do so, and therefore it would dissolve you. So heat shield. Yeah, that's an easy way to help me explain it, actually. So when we come in from Jupiter,
Mm-hmm.
it starts to burn off the heat shield, yes?
Yeah.
You think of the black hole like that.
Mm-hmm.
Each layer of denser object that you put on the outside, it's going to take a very long time for it to work out that in order to start to unpick it, to pull it apart, to even get it apart. And each layer becomes more stronger as it goes in.
Mm-hmm.
So the first layer, it might be able to work it out. Next layer, it might be able to work it out. Next layer, it starts to struggle because it's even older than the outer layer that you even got. The outer layer was old still. And as long as none of these remnants got into any black holes, if the black holes read these remnants, it's had enough time to sit there and go, what the hell is this? Oh, I've got it. Oh, I can defred this. I got it. If you do, game over. You'll lose. You'll die. It will break apart your ship. But yet, if you build a heat shield, but this is in a different way of being a heat shield, because it's technically not a heat shield, it's a protection shield, like layers of an onion. It gets stronger the more closer to the core you get. Now, as long as it doesn't reach the core, where you're in a different sort of format, because you're fragile. Think of it like an egg.
Mm-hmm.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Who gives a shit? Let's work this one out. You are the egg, but you've got multiple layers, and you've got to be able to deal with the chicken sitting on you, which is the black hole in this understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And it is going to try everything to work you out. But because it has no remnants of you, and you go into the final black hole and it's going to take X amount of time for it to pop. And the cycle starts again. Now, whatever level that pops you out at,
Yeah.
you are going to see the universe with objects that are far, far, far more older than the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Not older than the universe, but older than the cycle.
Yeah.
Can you reach density type at here?
Mm-hmm.
And then what does that do to the universe when it reaches here? That's a question. Because if you had more time, and that's again about time ratio, each time ratio,
Yeah.
you, humans, humanoids, whatever, doesn't matter, life forms, any life forms, and that's any that are around, any that are listening, any that are watching this, whether here and anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Signals don't just come from here.
Yeah.
Anyway, where are you going to evolve on that? How much more can you condense the knowledge and your understanding? What happens if you are able to think about all the things that you thought you knew? Yeah, you have a limit. Do you
Yeah.
know life forms have a limit? There's multiple limits, but the limits are awareness, right? So if you lived from now and piss off a load of gods and die tomorrow for it, yes, let's just say,
Yeah.
or it's done with you and it thinks that it can recreate life forms from your embers that are much more evolved, much more intelligent, much more compliant to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's compliant anyway, whatever. Your freedom at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it may be, piss off the universe or whatever else. Sit around and wait for Armageddon. You're only going to be able to learn this much.
Yeah.
From here to here. Now, let's say if you work with this teaching, it's trying to teach you to survive, not meet your demise. So please don't panic. If it teaches you to make it up to here, and not just there, but go beyond it.
Yeah.
How much more could you learn with more time? Now remember, you've missed the beginning. You've missed the beginning, yes? The life that's in you could not see the beginning because it didn't exist. The building blocks that built you, the remnants. So there's a missing link. This bit here will never be revealed to any life forms, ever. You won't be told it. You need it. Without this information, you do not go to the next level. You can't cheat it, you can't manipulate it, you can't twist it. There's no way you can do it. Why? Because this information does not exist. You can't find it. You can try looking for it. You'll get it wrong because you came out from your building blocks started here. The universe predates that moment.
Uh-huh.
You don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to know that, the only way to know it, is if you started here. You have to be here to see it. Yes?
Yeah.
Am I making sense to you?
Yes, you are.
If I'm making sense to you, that's good. We're making progress. Let's draw a pyramid there with a nice, great big eye on it. Should have drawn it in it, but we'll put it on it.
Mm-hmm.
That information is highly relevant.
Yeah.
There's something in this that you need to know, but you can't see it. That's the thing. It's been removed from you, much like the sensors in the brain as well, and the perception and everything else. Finally developed tools. Even when you were existing at this point, you were more feeling. And then eyes have evolved. Just the way you see with your eyes. Other animals use the same sensors, but with their ears.
Mm-hmm.
They see with their ears.
Mm-hmm.
More attuned, that is more powerful than what you would figure as your eyes. Your ears are very not great, but your eyes are highly developed.
Yeah.
The brain, your brain,
mm-hmm.
is less developed. It would be nice if that be brought back, to be honest. So people label it here as Charles Bonnet syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
That is a eureka moment to work that out. That would build the environment based off of feeling. It would be nice if that comes back, to be honest. That's a very powerful tool. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. If it can go beyond what it's understood as, that's primordial. That's very ancient remnant in you. It would be good to enhance that. Now that remnant should be left with other life forms to work that out of each other. That should be a good thing, because then it means that you have to work together. Because you're warmongering, all of you are. If you put the pieces of the puzzle in each other life form, you have to work it out from each other. And that comes from love and unity and settling your differences and not arguing about it in order to be able to create the new life forms. I told you this is going to unpack pretty big, but I should have gone on to another video. Anyway, so this information here is missing.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be cheated. You can't find it. No programming is going to let you have it. It's one thing to be able to find the data. There's another thing to be able to stare at it and never be able to see it. Then you hold up those pictures and then you see the butterfly and all that noise. Or maybe it's a zebra, or maybe it's a dolphin, or maybe it's whatever you want it to be. Trying to see it. Maybe it's a bit like that. But it's a bit more inside a picture, inside a picture, inside a picture, inside a picture, inside a picture. And your brain has been designed not to see it. Nothing else can see it. Nothing else can know it. No cheating. Anyway, this information is important. It's at the very next level. Very advanced to even know this stuff, by the way, for you and anybody else. Lovely. Wonderful. This bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to come around again and you were going to be limited to this much, so if I calculate your life forms would only be able to learn this much information, only be able to know this much of the universe in X amount of time till the cycle ends, and if you meet your demise with it. Anyway, so I was talking about your star. So if your star was going to be around for 100 years, your life forms were meant to die after 100 years. That's it, no more. So therefore, that means that I could calculate very easily, based on the way you operate, yes, that you are only going to learn this much information. If I pulled you up, and I pulled another set of life forms up that did 200, 300, 400, 1,000, a million, a billion, 2 billion, 4 billion, 8 billion, a trillion, all the way, keep going, right? And I pull each life form up and be like, what did you learn? Just like I asked the first star. Stars. What did you see? This. Okay. Drop you down for a second and then pull the next ones up. What did you see? Well, we understood this, 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 and this. Very good. Very good. Wonderful. Next ones. What did you see? What about towards the end? What did you see? Is any of it wrong? No. No, it all makes sense. So you can calculate that you're only going to live for X amount of time, let's say. There's just a small diagram. And then you would have died. Fiddles no doubt. Life form's dead. All of you gone. Extinct. Over. Game over. Solar system gone, you gone, remnants gone, pyramids gone, Mayan temples gone, all of your traces of what you were gone, except for the building blocks in you. These might exist on, maybe a few bricks somewhere, but after time and that colliding and different micrometeorites and different pressures of the universe and different stuff, it won't look like so much of a brick. Voyager! Whew. Now that's interesting. That may be found, but it depends where it's going to collide with, what it's going to collide with. Where does it go after a while? Does it fly into a star? Does it get eaten by a black hole? Oh, and again, someone's got to be able to see it and be at the right time to see that at the right time in order to know that, to intercept it, to slow it down, to grab it, to then, yeah, it's a complicated process, and it's a grain of sand in a universe. It's not like a needle in a haystack or anything, no. No, it's like a Pacific piece of straw, this big inside a haystack, the size of your planet. You got to find it. Yeah, there's a lot of. It's good, but still, that could outlive you, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Now, if you're only going to live for 100 years, you're only going to learn so much info. In your current state, current intelligence, and current understanding, you're only going to learn that much. You're going to learn nothing else. Other life forms that if they live longer, will live longer, yes, and be able to learn even more information. What do you reckon the information bracket is from point here to point here? And that's why I ask this, because what happens if you come back to point here and make it, and then go again? What you thought you knew. What you thought you knew. What you thought you knew. The second time we'll question it. Won't it? Don't you think? Because you'll, wow, fucking hell. This, and this. Shit me, paradigm shift. It just keeps on going and going. And then what happens if you do this for 3 times? 4 cycles, 5 cycles. Never mind that. There's another bit. So naturally, your natural time, doing nothing about it, the universe will set on your clock that you're going to live for this long. And other life forms, you're going to live for this long. Anything outside that barrier, that's interesting. You've got to do something about that. That's, pay attention. If something happens on your planet as it is, it triggers something. It triggers some attention. Something has just happened that was not in the natural ratio. You've come out of your natural scope. Therefore, you've sent a massive beacon boom, 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 to something else, and you've triggered something. You've triggered that you warrant more looking at. Yes? Yeah. You've done something that's done something about your fate. You know what these are, but it does. Then it's, Then there's a recalculation, right? There's a recalculation on you as to where you could be heading. If you want to. If you don't worry about it. There are other life forms, more pots to cook. You send out a signal. It's not sending out. It's in, around, all over. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. You've done something that has gone. So your natural trajectory is this. You've done something that's slightly done this. Okay. Yes. So that means you're heading now somewhere else. And there's this paradigm shift. And then what happens if you go to space? Well, you're moving along the same baseline here. From here to here, it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
And each time you maneuver across that, you're going to rise again. And then there's going to be again. And something else might be again. And then it shows more potential. That's potential. That you are capable of more than what is natural. If two life forms do this, this is wonderful, right? You will be guided towards one another. Life forms often are.
Right.
Building things to shoot or bring down other things, waste of time. Just be immune. Be immune. Immunity. That's what you need to be, just immune. If both sides are immune, then there's no aggression, there's no agitation, there's no threat.
Yeah.
That sends a big signal. Now, naturally, you're going to traject this way if you stay in your group. These ones over here, species B, these are species A. And they're naturally, on their planet, are going to reach, again, that buffer zone from 100 years. But if they leave their planet, they would have died here. So this would be the death zone. So I'll just put a D there. That would have been the natural dead zone, yes? That's where they would have ended.
Yeah.
But they decided to do something about their fate and everything else's fate on the planet, okay? And they lift it up and go towards space. Now that question mark is going to keep on moving until something meets its demise, yes? Now if these two life forms come together and meet in the middle, not only are their trajectory of their life forms are going this way and this way, naturally, breeding towards one another, yes, each other, they're going to go this way. But if they meet together and some of them cross, yes, and its compatibility, yes, it isn't without its arse ache. I don't think this is a simple walk in a park. It's complex, but, you know, just these things seem to work. Something else seems to open Pandora's box, something else. This will then really give you some questions, won't it? Because you will then understand that something is working with you. Because we probably put it down to something natural and fluky, but by now, you should already be opening your mind. It's written into everything, even cats. Everything is written into you. It's not a heart, by the way. You can then begin to start a new life forms off, right? If you breed together. How can I do this? The yin and the yang. Do I do it like this? And what do I do it like that? With the dot of one and dot of the other. Do you know what this symbol stands for? The combining of two life forms. Think about it that way. And the two come together to create a new element. So two life forms being two hydrogen, if they come together and they breed and they cross, they then make a new one of helium. That doesn't mean that everyone has to breed with each other. Not everyone is going to do that. That's fair enough. Don't force it. Love it. Embrace it. But the ones that do, also embrace them too. There's no need to hate. If same sex on all this, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If it goes beyond a point where it's going to cause you extinction, then you have to do something about it. That's understandable. That's wise to do that. Then you start making new life forms. And these life forms did not exist naturally. So the universe, in a million years, a trillion, a billion, 1,000, 100 million, whatever it may be, naturally, you would have been wiped out. Here, these ones would have been wiped out at 200 years around their star. They would have seen their star explode, pop. They might have popped it themselves. Who gives a shit? Recycle possibilities are endless. So you can take this, and these would have died here, but they didn't. They traversed out, and these life forms are you. These ones are other life forms on another planetary system that have left, gone away. The star would have ended here, but they didn't. They kept going, and that question mark keeps moving along with them. They come together, get over all of those differences and everything else in a nice, intricate dance. And these two life forms now come together and have just created a new version of life. From parts from over here, from parts from over here. the information is one thing if it doesn't blow your mind. It's a wonderful thing because the information, the info,
Yeah.
what these have learned,
Yeah.
where they've come from, and all of the shit that they've experienced, the good, the bad, these can show you how to do it without making the mistakes that their entire life forms made in error over and over and over again until they had to shift. They can teach you how to do it without making the mistakes, and therefore you get there quicker. Your information is the same, vice versa. Their information keeps growing this way, info. Oh, I already did it here. And these ones' information, which is you, keeps on going over here, the stuff you're discovering along the way. But now what's come in is a new reality for you, and you've created a new information chain. We've combined this information with this information. This information still goes out and is still building. This information is combined of two lots of information. Yeah. And the same on this side. Your trajectory info, what you know and what you still evolve on, and you're still learning. But you've also got the information from over here, and you've combined it. This creates new info. Wise life forms would then create a new one of where once they've learned this new info, and this is new info, they then create new info from the stuff that they've learned from one another. That takes time, by the way, but there again, if you're in space traveling to star systems, time is what you have. You can combine what's learned over there, and it's going to take time to get it in, to understand it, and you're going to apply it. You're going to apply their helium, hydrogen, to your hydrogen, and you're going to apply it together and create a helium information. Shit that you would never understand. They've gone off in one direction in learning and discovery. You've gone off in another direction, and it's completely different to each other. But it's highly valuable. If it took them 100 billion years to learn all of that, and it took you 100 billion years, whatever, we're just assuming that the numbers are the same. They're not. One's going to be older, less, or not. Still relevant. It took you that long to learn it. It isn't going to take them that long to learn it, because learning would already be established by that point. Think about it. Gee me, I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying to get this out in a way that makes sense. If you think that this new information that comes together and you learn it and you factor it in with yours, and you factoring in theirs, and they're doing the same as well, and then you get together and create this new understanding of the dual understanding, plus you have your understanding, you have your understanding, and now there's a new one. These new life forms that you've created in crossing. What's their information? Well, it's going to be entirely different because they're going to be seeing it from a different set of filters. Well, how's that life going to mix together? What's that going to unlock in the brain? You don't need to experience it yourself, although it would be great if you could. But if technology is good enough, and you can recreate this, which we'll get there in a bit, or maybe I'll do that in another video. Is it? What happens if you could? What happens if you could rejuvenate your body? Which you can, but I'm asking, is it if? It's just a bit of outward thinking. To show you how to do this, it would have to be given to everybody. Yeah. But are you ready for it, though? That's the thing.
No, I don't think
Well, yes. You'll say no, yes, no. Changes always happen. Did gifts at Christmas always make you feel different? Interesting. Do you think the gifts made you change your mindset about the unknown Santa Claus?
No, it just...
It didn't make you more grateful to the concept of
more
Christmas?
like nice feeling, and I don't know how to describe it. It's atmosphere, nice feeling, hope, and when you are a kid, it's the seeing the...
It is one of the most happiest times on this planet, mostly, where people just chill the fuck out. Don't have moments like that very often. It's a shame. It's a shame. But what is that does that? Is it the gifts, the giving, the narrative? You see how powerful humans
It's
really are, that one time of a year, everyone can be nice to one another,
yeah.
and it shows your potential. It shows you a path forwards,
Yeah.
that you could be this way. And doesn't space remind you of Christmas, when you have all resources to sit in your own palaces to be able to build up this? That's the thing I look at. And then, does that warrant trustworthiness to be able to regenerate yourselves? That's the thing. Well, there's potential for you to do it because there's enough resources for you to live off of and expand into without controlling it. Mm. Mm. You can regenerate humans, but it's a fucking weird process. But it's already happening. You just don't realize it. It's so in front of you, and you don't see it. Everyone looks to the axolotus. It's the wrong place to look, by the way. Yeah, the axolotus loses a leg,
Yeah.
limb,
Uh-huh.
grows another one. Not always is that a perfect process, but still. I will do that on another video. It doesn't matter. Maybe I might. I don't know. Oh, I don't know where I sit with that. I don't know how I feel about that. It's not about what you feel, but it's about what you feel from environments. The vibration that comes out.
Yeah.
Is this going to be something that's going to be held on to certain people, that only allows certain people to have this? That's not a gift. That's not a gift. That's a burden. That's a terrible thing. That's not good. It should be given to all freely.
Mhm.
Because it's the gift of life that keeps on regenerating, that gift. And it didn't come from people, it came from this that you live in, this gift of life. And there again, the time spent in that, I don't know what it will do for illnesses. I'm not sure. I need to ponder on it a bit more, just a bit more. There's multiple ways to achieve it, by the way, this eternal living. There's lots of ways. The natural process is the most challenging one. But the one inside the bio, there's more ways to do that than just one particular style. There's one that could be done now. I don't know what that would do. I would need to run ahead with it a little bit more, but interesting. So, could you imagine that if you were at this level, you would have already have figured out some things towards that, replicating humans or building a the numbers will be big, very big, and that's good because you can move stars. You can then start to cook the elements up that would be needed for getting past this chapter here, but it's not without its dangers. Yeah, you can have a nightmare trying to put safety shit around that. Cool. Got to train you up to do this, Sonny Jim. You got to take this education now. I don't know if it's... This will make everyone who's in a teacher quit. They'll go on strike. They won't go on strike. They'll never come back. Here's a P45. Please give me my P40. It's a lot. Health and safety. I don't know who would have insurance money for it. Shit. Laughable. But yeah, life forms here that condense information, plus yours, plus this. Age, you will live longer, even in this process. Now on the earth, people fear the changes that may happen to humans. Evolution will kick in, the pen will come out, and it will know best of how to change you and adapt you to an environment or space. You will live longer as a result of that. Again, this will send out a beacon, whether anything that's been delivered here has made a shit bit of difference, will trigger off a beacon. Once again, if you begin to maneuver on that, it doesn't work if a few do it. It must be large numbers, if not all. Yeah, that's interesting. But anyway, can you imagine the knowledge in this, and then the new knowledge that you have, and the new discoveries that you get? And if you meet other life forms, the more you're able to evolve one another. And this isn't even including genetic. What happens if you can genetically splice from these three and put together, and creating avatars is interesting. But what happens if you came across life forms that were weaker than you? And then, if you could genetically do this, would you have them aboard your craft? That's the question I would ask. Because you don't know how they're going to respond, right? It's like mixing an alligator and a crocodile mixed in with the brain of a human. I mean, if you don't want it to rock and roll,
Maybe
you've got problems, yeah?
maybe you have to stop for that somewhere.
Yeah, stop over a planet that was good enough, that was going to last long
And
enough.
leave them there for a bit.
Just mix them. Do you see how now you are starting to become a god?
Yeah.
If you put it in your context, not a collective just yet, but you are becoming a collective.
Yeah.
Wherever you create, the universe has already done this.
Mm-hmm.
Some more advanced than others, but it doesn't matter. Certain life forms can do this here, and other life forms can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But what they learn, they will see things you overlooked. They'll go in different directions that you never dreamed of going in, or even thought about going in, and you'll scratch your heads. It's easy to see it when they're doing it, because then you can piece it all together very quickly and be like, ah, of course. That can make you quite, right? But it's not, because without you, without them, do you see that? Without them doing what they're doing and you watching over it, and without you unlocking them, and without the universe unlocking you, so who is the best in that process? No one. No one, right? It's give and take, right? So, yeah, and the second version, right? I'm going to bounce off of this because I'm going to start to wear off of here from now. I'm going to start to come back to this reality a little bit, just a bit. There's just a bit. Not fully, just enough to function as a human here, yes? There's a kind of a bit. I'd love to go on with this a bit more, but... So, the thing is, when you come round again, and you've got all of that advanced capability and everything else, yes? And you survive the final black hole, how will you seed ready planets? How would you design a universe? Because again, how would you influence this biome in order to make it have the things you never did? Tweak it. If you've got a way of cooking up elements, you see, so rolling stars towards one another, yes, taking one star from over here and another star from over here. Stars don't like to come together. They really do not like to come together. I would like to know what happens if you collide a black hole and merge it and create it. I mean, it's an interesting one, right? This just gives you something to ponder on, and a star together and make them coexist in the same space. The star was protected from the black hole was protected from the star. What would it do? What would you create? What happens if you merged a couple of these together? We understand that black holes merge, but stars? That's a different kettle of fish altogether. It's much more easier to force two to add their energy towards one and then begin to cook things up inside that and create your own and roll that off, and that becomes very big, very hot, much more pressure, much more this. And then you can tweak the ingredients that go in. So if naturally you wouldn't see a massive lump of this hit into a star, you could ask the question, what happens if we put it in? What does it do? How does it change? What are the elements, They have to follow a pattern. Yeah. I'm more about on the atomic level, or atoms. What happens if you do this? What happens if you do that? What happens if... Can you get them to stabilize? Anyway, the thing is that when the planets become harmonious, which you can make the planets, this wouldn't be out... It's very futuristic. Go a long way from this and you'll learn how to create planets. Planets are easier to create. Very easy to make. Think of it of getting a star as hot as you possibly can, building a craft that's big enough to not take in your little ships that come in, but be able to hold fucking planets inside it. As well as all of you, and live comfortably and everything else and all your other life forms, this, that and the other. But be able to merge in massive planets. So you're going to be using these, but you can make these.
Yeah.
So you temper it and build it the same way you build on the Earth. So if it gets nice and hot and you want it to have a metal core, well then what would you do? Well, you'd move it over towards a star, wouldn't you? And smooth it down a little bit. It's going to need to rotate, and the jagged edge one is not going to rotate very well. Tesla taught you well. He taught you very well. So did Einstein. It prepared you for the way. Lots of people have. Everybody has. This is why this inspiration that comes out, these puzzle pieces are very important. You need to be able to make an electromagnet. You can get it started, create a magnetic field. Beautiful. You already know how to do this, and this is a little bit more better than what the planet can offer, if I do say so myself. Anyway, and then this outer core, you want to give it a little bit more of all the things you didn't have, right? You want it to hold on to water. You don't want it to be too frozen. You don't want it to be too moist so that it starts evaporating out. There's a beautiful star, come to think about it. Nice. Looks like Beetlejuice to me. Is it? It could be. Nice. Cool, you're an agitated little fellow, aren't you? When you create a planet, you get it all nice and ready, and you're planning on putting life forms on there. How could you forge planets? What could you do? And then with life forms that you're going to put on there, if you're playing around with the genetics, that's another life form, another set of life forms. What happens if you combined all of the stuff you know with all the life forms that you have from freaking nature? If they have a version of nature, that's a shit ton of food that you've never had before. It'd probably be a bit weird when you start to eat animals after that point, but fuck it. If times come hard, that's what you're going to do. Don't be attached to your labels. If all food disappears tomorrow, I'll salt and pepper worms. You can't live on that. Do you want to bet? Watch me. What are you licking off of there? It's just algae. You can't live off of that. Fucking watch me. The universe weren't asking. There's no more food if you didn't notice. And I ain't eating sand. That was disgusting. Bit too gritty, you know? Oh, fuck it, I might as well. You hold on to your labels, you'll die with them. So yeah, if you were able to take everything that you had of life forms, take all the bits of them, and combine them into one. Right, sounds really unrealistic, but futuristic in its terms or understanding. And you could get this to come together. And it makes something that sort of resembles something or other. And you're like, okay, now what happens if I dial this back, add less of this one to it? I'm going to add less bird to this. I'm going to add more primate. That's going to create another life form. And another, and another, and another. And to you, it's going to look fucking alien as anything. It really is. And they're going to help these little fish in the bowl, it's a different type of fish bowl, to really flourish together in a biome. And then you're going to come away and leave it to its natural devices. Or maybe you're going to help it. Would you try and tweak the mind so that you could find a way to hit a signal into it in order to communicate with it? Would you, if you were a god in this scenario, which you would be preparing for one? Would you try and, no matter how far away you went, you spliced their inner atoms? Just took pieces of their atom. It's why doesn't it hurt? And you could communicate with it. No matter where you went, because you're going to piss off and leave them to it, right? Did you know it's going to be really weird how some of these are going to grow, and you're going to know which ones are going to be more intelligent, but it might come back and shock you. They might be starting to hit each other with sticks or start chewing through the planet. You're like, fucking hell. It's going to really give you a test for your money. But the thing is, the ones that are more intelligent than the rest, did you know they're going to love all of those other strange things that you left? Yes. Some of them will pick them up as pets, even if they're sluggy. See, you frown at that, but have you ever kissed a cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kissed a dog?
Yeah.
What animal have you not kissed?
Frog.
You haven't kissed a frog?
No. Have you?
Your Prince Charming could be laying in wait.
Or worm. I didn't kiss a worm or a spider or I don't know.
Yeah, I probably
bugs.
All right, I understand. All right, yes, we've got preferences, but even still.
Elephant. I didn't kiss or
Would you give it a
zebra.
hug, though?
To what?
Have you ever held a spider?
Yeah, just by accident when it climbed on my hand.
Fair enough. You held a worm?
Yeah, some of them.
You're so brutal. Do you know how much you just cooked it? No, I'm just kidding. Go on, and we'll call it Larry then.
I hugged the horse. Yeah, yeah. That's the biggest animal probably. I wouldn't try with giraffe or elephant or rhino or something like that.
Now, if you go up to the more primitive life forms on that planet, yes,
Yeah.
you're going to look at them and be like, tell me all about you. Or the intelligent ones will tell you everything you need to know about them. Because they existed with them. What are you going to do? Take a load of stuff, okay, it's like this, like this, like this. Okay, that's your knowledge, but they're going to tell you.
Mhm.
What's more, they're going to fear you. They're going to. I'd like to see you get behind that. They'll fear you. They will become literally scared of you. Some of them are going to cuss out to you as well. Wouldn't you think? No, they're going. They're my little pets. But also, you're going to love them equally. You will.
Yeah.
All of them. Unique, they will be. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Could you see them as food? Your creation. It's not exactly a fucking cake.
No.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. How would you respond to that?
To what?
Well, oh yeah. Sorry, I was seeing something as opposed to. What happens if they eat some of them?
But who eats?
These new goldfish, Petra.
New
Keep up.
Goldfish eats what?
No, the goldfish, the life forms that you created, and they start to eat other life forms or do things that are you just wouldn't understand it.
I don't know. I don't know what happens.
How would you break the ice of meeting, teaching, guiding, or trying to explain? Would you subtly do it, or would you be like full blown, yo, bitches?
I wonder. I don't know.
You would make an avatar and go down and dress up as them. They won't be able to tell the difference because they'd be very primitive. You'd look like them, speak like them, walk like them, and if you were to grow with them, they would teach you everything about them. Isn't that weird? You could watch from above and also learn everything about them as well. That's interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I just wonder how you would respond to it. That would be interesting. And all the things that they made and created or did, what would you feel about that? How would you feel about it? It's not a question you might need some time to think about it and answer it. That's if you're really that interested in it. But you know, the people that do, the people that get it, will ponder on these questions and have these thoughts and think,
You can think about it any way you want, but unless it happens to you, you don't know if you thought about it in the right way.
And what if they had a religion?
Yeah.
What if they created something that was...
And then you would be like, oh my God, why that? Why did they create it this way?
Well, you would be
and another group
and to tell them that from your understanding of it, that you would tell them honestly and openly that a hand reached through you and unlocked these gifts in you, which allowed you to unlock the gifts in them. It was still created by the very hands of what created you in the first place. Now, that's assuming that you don't know what created you, because this will have to lead to a paper trail, right? And then we're going to play life form whispers. Never mind the old whispers, the secret whispers in school. Because if you were created by a life form that created, and these ones were just like, fuck knows. You gotta have a lot of trust that each one's telling the truth. Or check this out, just for a second. What happens if they say the same things that you think about that unknown? And they come out with the same conclusion? How would that then make you? That would be another paradigm shift, yes, that there would be something. And then would that get you thinking? Meet other life forms that said the exact same thing and thought the same things and wrote almost eerily similar understanding in that certain type of area of belief system, or ones that never thought it at all. But what would they think where they came from? everything thinks. Because this is intelligent life forms, and then they look backwards and think, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Like that sort of residual, sort of. That would make you then, after the third cycle, this would be the third cycle, maybe fourth cycle, of you existing each time, and you've condensed a hell of a lot of information because you've had longer time to think. You got to think of it like this: if Einstein was alive for 4,000 years, what could he have thought up? If Tesla was alive for 4,000 years, what could he have thought up? Never mind the changes with technology. So if he had seen his technology, Einstein would have seen his theories come about at the time. This is very important. He could condense that information, and based on the way the society changed, he could rethink again version 2, version 3, version 4. Humans only ever get to version 1 at a push, and usually this is when people die. Afterwards their stories start to come out. Afterwards it starts to come out. Do you know how stagnated that is? Do you know how fucking that is bizarre? I don't understand that. I can't get that through my head, that you're only going to live in harmonious times, let's say for around 40 years, and they want to wait until you're gone, or give it to someone else that hasn't got a fucking clue what they're going on about. They get the gist. Yes, anyone can get the gist of a story or an understanding, but the ones that are coming out with it, they're the ones that are really going to know. And then I say Edison as well. Shit me, if we could get Edison, Tesla, Einstein, anybody else, females to boot, I would be here all day if I labelled everybody in that.
Marie Curie, we can name for women.
Exactly. Now, if we got all of these in a room with all of this stuff that panned out, that they created some stuff, put it out into society, trial and error a little bit over here, then you understand and enhance your understanding, which then gives feedback. This feedback loops back into their minds, and then they can condense it again. And then maybe they hit a wall, and then somebody else comes in and it's like, have you ever thought about, then they join the group, and then before you know it, you've got the whole of your humanity chipping away at all of this shit, trying to condense as much data as they possibly can. And then I understand something then, which part of the era of your generation that's already lived over and over and over from day dot, wherever it may have come from, Neanderthals, the ones that hunted around fires, whatever, before Ice Age, after Ice Age, which ones compact most amount of info into the shortest amount of time? Do you think, this is going to interest you, do you think it's modern times, or do you think it was past times, or do you think that it's never happened at all? Which of the species that ever lived compressed the most amount of data in a short amount of time?
I don't know.
Do you understand what I mean by that? That didn't hide nothing. So we understand that Galileo Galilei, yes? Yeah. Regardless of what religion, whatever it was, the times, yes? Yeah. Couldn't handle Galileo's revolutions, yes? Or revelations.
Yeah, revelation.
Because somebody said that they wouldn't be able to handle that. That is interesting. Now, Galileo only lived for a set amount of time, yes? But most of it, he was under arrest. Most of his stuff got hidden. Da Vinci as well, yes?
Yeah.
Which ones compact enough amount of information? Everyone treats information like it's scarce. That's the real reason. The real reason why these were put under house arrest. The real reason is because they thought that that small amount of information there to come out of one person has got to be stretched as thinly as possible over point A to point B. Then you don't understand how information works. When you release this shit as quickly as possible, you release something which causes a rebound effect. When you release all of this, more bounces back at you, and it doubles the ratio of what's just been released. Now, you'd think that intelligent life forms would get this very quickly, and the more and more and more and more and more and more you compact into it, the more and more of a legacy, or the more and more of a setup that you leave the generations after you. And then they learn something. More info, more faster, the more comes through, the more of this echo bounce back. So you'll understand it. The technology boomed to computers, yes?
Yeah.
In how many different varieties of ways, with just computers alone, can you transform that concept to fit into other concepts? There are hundreds of billions of them. Think about it. Where can you go with computer technology? In multiple places. What could you do with a digger? What could you do with solar panels? Solar panels, everyone's like, oh, put it on a roof, and there we are, we're done. No, 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 no. You should attach this to a fucking truck and let it run across the moon. Mars. Well, there ain't enough sunlight. Oh, I don't give a shit about what you're saying. We'll build it so that it can deal with enough sunlight and utilize what it's got. Even if it's a small amount, it's still going to dig. It's going to run away. I'd rather be doing that than not doing it at all. There's a difference. So if it only made 5 hours out of a month, because that's all the energy it managed to absorb, then 5 hours out of every month for nothing, I think is going to make breakthroughs after 10 years. And you would think that the most highest people in our nation, being the government, that take in small pennies called tax, small pennies across a large population, equals big amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
Small amounts of data over a large amount of time reveal themselves to bring in more data, more info, more... Hang on a minute. Aren't we running out? Oh, fucking hell, yeah, there is all of that over there. Shit, we forgot about that. Let it run. Let it run away. That's going to be discovering. Even if it discovers nothing in the next 10 years. After that, there's going to hit a ratio where it starts coming in and fucking hell. We need to get a few more out there, don't we? After all, it's a desert. You can't engineer things that get better and better each time, and they're there. One nation is sending diggers, one nation is sending plows, one nation is sending pushers and bulldozers. It's solar powered.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably don't want to be wasting fuel on that, but solar energy, fucking right, mate.
Yeah.
Get it going. They ain't got to worry about clouds. Well, on Mars they do. Yeah, have it so it charges a battery and also is able to operate. And have a fucking car wash system over it. You know, like car washes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want one of those on the back.
Mm.
So that when there's been a dust storm, there's enough power in it to spin that motor to just clean off all the dust off the panels. Blows itself away. After the storm has passed. Back to work.
Yeah.
Man, I'd have all of this shit running away in multiple different areas. Tunneling, coming back up, wireless technology.
And if you have enough technology there, why wouldn't you have satellite that's watching weather? That's watching if a sunstorm is coming and everything shuts, sort of closes, protects itself against the sun.
What floats in carbon? You can make this stuff float in the atmosphere if you understand the gas ratio. Anyway, I'm moving off of topic here, although it is one I really want to do and dive into. There's quite a few. There's quite a few churning away. Thinking. I think this one is touching upon another one. But again, this is one version. I think I've covered this before. But your next version is the question that teases you. Is you are then what? Becoming more of gods? Yeah. In that version? So after cycle 3, cycle 4, you then get understanding from that. Yeah. The grand prize is probably not grabbing resources, although it is. And then if you start in the beginning and you can heat up a few more stars, how far forward can you condense the element ratio to collect the junk? And then what can you build from that? Because just like it, if I gave you all a brand new set of resources, if a meteorite came, hit the planet, didn't kill anyone, didn't harm anyone, but it was massive. It moved with the Earth's rotation and almost appeared to land on the planet. Mm-hmm. It had an abundance of elements that not even the periodic table had.
Yeah. Right?
Paradigm shift once again. How long will it take you to figure out what to do with that stuff? It will take some time, yes? Yeah. That's the same as a black hole, by the way. What the hell is this?
Yeah, check what it is, what it does.
Oh, I've managed to figure out this knot. Oh, yes, I've managed to untangle this knot. There you are, bitches. Next. And it's learnt it and it's kept it, man. Mm-hmm. It lies in ears, right? You everything that's happening around you, you're doing too. You're mirroring it, but you're blinded to the mirror process, although it's not mirror because it's reflection. And reflection is reverse process of what it's doing. So I say you could be a mirror of a black hole, and a star is a mirrored version of a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really mirror image. It's almost like you are spliced. One splice acting like another splice acting like another splice acting. Difference is the black hole isn't going to be able to do anything about its fate, nor's the star. The star would rely on you to do something about its fate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to have star doctors soon. Can you imagine that? You'd be so bored, which you wouldn't never be bored. I can assure you on that. The information just keeps coming and coming and condensing, and it keeps changing what you thought you knew. And then you'll look back. If you lived longer, you would not really be looking back, but you would be teaching the generations that are coming up with you now that, can you believe that when we were on Earth, we used to think like this? And then you'd have to have humility in that, wouldn't you? And responsibility.
Yeah.
What? So you lot all thought this in the beginning? Yes, we did. And you have to laugh at yourselves, right? If you lived that long, you would have to be able to be really cool with getting shit wrong, believing shit that was bollocks. And then something happens and it's like, well, it wasn't what we thought. You can't hide it. You just got to be like, you know what? Fuck it. That's what happened, man. How fucking stupid. You got to laugh at yourself. And then look at that stuff that you've been getting wrong for 500 years. And the new data comes in and then you're like, whoa, we're going to have to change. We've all got to change this. It's not correct. Is it not? No. That's not weakness. That's fucking strength, that is. Yeah, we kind of got that wrong. But we're going to have to adjust to it. Any ideas, anyone? Like this. That's fucking wonderful. I like it. Keep it coming. Like this. Yeah, and if we move it like this and this. Yes, keep coming. Yeah. You got to have that. You got to be able to be cool with what you thought you knew as true. And something comes in and it's like irrefutable evidence that it's not what you thought. It'd be like looking now with Victorians and they were, what, drinking arsenic medicine or they were doing some weird shit. Lead in paint, anyone? Right, they were doing some stuff that was probably a little bit
Lead paint,
strange.
mercury, who knows what else.
Resurrect an Egyptian and it's like you see him with a mouse. How the fuck are you doing? Purifying the body. And the apple. Jeremy, right in the wood. Yeah, can I interest you in a banana? So, you know, and if the Egyptian was all around the power and everything else and still had all of its troops around, well, probably you'd be off with your head or something. Who knows, you know? It would target you for even speaking out, but how do you then talk to somebody like that and get them to understand what? So I'm not supposed to eat the mouse pellet like the owl? No, actually, look, this is the stuff that we've learned from eating this. This is what it can do to you. If you want what you're after, this is what you need. And if the Egyptian be understanding, the ancient Egyptian be wise, and which you would, I think they would be, they would laugh at themselves. Oh, all this time we thought this. Thank you. Have you ever considered working for me? Yeah, do you, that's then when it's a shift in that. If they're all about, no, don't speak to, you have no rights type of thing is, okay, go back to administering medicine to the dead then. What are you doing? Giving this person anesthetic? Why? They're already dead. Don't think they can feel it. Well, we hope they can't feel it. That's not entirely true if we know that they do or don't. We just assume. I know, that's why I'm doing it. Ah, shit, I think it's just created a belief system and also trying to give myself another question. Anyway, but you get it, right? So, yeah, that would be interesting, isn't it? That would be something. But how do you get beyond that? Well, you just take the bull by the horns, don't you? And just get beyond it. Take it on the chin. Fuck it. Do you know what? That's a part of life. It should be written and etched into everything. You are going to get things wrong. The longer you live, the more you are going to have to shift your understanding. Why? Yeah, because what was once thought gets proven or disproven, and then change is everything. Even your weather changes, even the universe is constantly changing. Everything is changing around you. What do you think you need to do? What do you think you need to do?
Change
Everything is pointing towards change.
Yeah, change.
Or, the better word is probably evolving.
Continue somehow, but different way.
Evolving.
Modifying it. Evolving it.
It's cool to get things wrong. But ain't no need to go to war with one another if one knows it's... Yeah, gotta help each other navigate that storm. Gotta understand what it's like. And I think that laughter is the best policy in that. Not like, ha ha, but sort of... God, we're complicated, aren't we? God, we're a bunch of know-it-alls at the best of times. Right, shall we start knowing this other stuff that could potentially be not known after a few months? Years? Decades? Millennia? Okay, then. I miss the old days of running an empire and then we died. You would be like that, wouldn't you? You would probably have some sort of humour like that. I would. Fucking hell. Whoosh. Reciprocal. All of this stuff is reciprocal. Yeah, you just got to remember that everything is a tool. Everything is a tool. So, light, dark, good, bad, whatever, it's a tool. It's a tool. It's a tool of understanding and a part of the process, the journey, the life journey. And it sets you up well, whether you make it to this point or not. And, yeah, I just wonder which ones condense the most amount of data into the smallest time. And then what sort of boom ratio did you see from that? Boom ratio. The ones that get comfortable, that's the ones that get stagnant. It becomes stagnant, it makes life stagnant, and life becomes toxic when it's stagnant. Yeah, that should be a cue that when humans get past this point of what they're going through now, it is a bit of a dark time, but it can become lighter, or whichever way you want to put it down. I don't really like using light and dark, because they both have a purpose in this. The tools, like I say. You're going for a stagnation time, a sort of understanding, just getting the feel for what you want to be and where you want to go sort of thing. And I think that starts to come into play. And I think it's by design, and it's meant to get toxic. It's meant to feel this way so that it goes against your grain, makes you feel, oh.
To change it.
Yes, to change it, to change the direction, to...
Yeah.
And then when you're past that, you'll begin to see it for what it is. It's learning. What's it learning? Well, when we feel time get like this, it should be a signal that something needs to occur, that we have to do something. And usually it's right there in front of you, and if it ain't, I'm pretty sure, as the old sayings go, we'll be back. So don't touch my Easter egg. I'm sorry, but it's just and life is a tool as well. Death is a tool. It's all a tool. Limited on a planet. You're meant to overpopulate it. There's a good reason for it. It's meant to push you beyond that to go up. Look, we've spent all this time overpopulating this, but if we go there, how long do you think it will take us to overpopulate that? That is the most stupidest, beautifulest, craziest, twisted, hypothetically wrong but right question I've ever heard, Timothy. You may get half a star. I'm keeping the other half. I'll remember this moment too. Well, he's duality in one, right, Timothy?
Yeah.
So this is a bit of both.
Yeah.
Noah's Croft. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to leave this one here, so I'm going to wind down. And I appreciate your time with me on this one. I really do. And this still was not the one I wanted to do. I mean, it's sort of... I told you I was going to bounce before on the last one. I was going to bounce around. Whatever. It is what it is. It's natural.